Alright, hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar for DayTradingRadio.com, and I am going to do a little education and little stock watch list video. I think it's a good combination to teach you some trading techniques and also show you some good setups for the week. I want to go out and take a look at WFT, which is Weatherford. We tracked this stock. You know, when we saw it was a great pattern, I traded this on the station a lot. We want to break down what a channel looks like and how to really time a channel breakout. Because we see a lot of channels starting to develop back in the markets. There's a few on the watch list. So basically, you see in a downward channel, you want to buy on the lower channel line, and you want to have as many everything going for you as possible. So I call them indicators, things that you look to set up. Be it a trend line, be it a moving average. The first thing I want to look for is the oversold conditions on the stochastics. Then we have a trend line support. Remember, whenever you're buying on a pullback, there's a better chance of a spring forward if you're looking to go high, if you're looking to get a move up. So you're buying into weakness to get those bounces. Even if in a downtrend, it makes some very profitable trading, as long as you have the patience and the discipline to get in where you want to get in. So once you establish the channel just by drawing the lines in, you can very easily start to time your trades, and that's half the battle right there. It's just waiting for the trades to set up. So when I see something like this set up, I wait for the stochastics to come down. In this case, is your first sign of a divergence on the stochastics. Normally, you get a pullback in the stochastics, you see a lower low. Here we had here was a little divergence too. We actually made a new higher high, but we actually stayed within this channel. So we came back down here, made a double bottom. Stochastics pulled, didn't make a lower low. We pushed back up towards right to the downward trend line, turned back down. And then we continue on here. You can actually see the stochastics pulled back, but we held way off the lows. So this is really coming out and saying, hey, something's about to happen, because we got oversold, but we only pulled back into the channel just a little, and then from there we got a nice little breakout. So even going out to this point, you could see each one of these points, this point and this point, you should be doing this. You should be just establishing your trends. And from here, you can see a low here and a low here, a lower low and a higher low. So now you got to do trend line here. And actually, you can start keying this off, because now all of a sudden I've noticed that I have a new channel here. So this channel, it's going to play out. And again, I just wait for the trade to set up. Now this is already in past tense, and this already happened. But this is the technique you would use on a trade maybe this week or something like this. So you would just extend those trend lines out as far as they would go, continue to extend them as the trade history goes through, and now you could actually see, oh, we actually pushed up against this level, coming right back down. We pushed right up against the trend line and sold off into it, or it was overbought stochastics. And again, once again, it just continues to respect that trend line, as we like to say. It kind of holds it true. And this one's actually pushed right up against us. So this is actually a setup for a short this week. And that was another reason I wanted to bring this to you. It's actually a good short setup just based on this channel. The overbought stochastics pushing up against the top of the trend line. This is also what we call a measured move channel breakout. So this is the target on a measured move. When you take a channel, to get a distance where you want to take your profits on a breakout of a channel, you take the distance of the channel and you extend it out to where the breakout happened, and that should give us that move right up here to that 1995, which basically we touched last week. So everything pointed to a move back here in WFT. So that's a good way of trading channels. Again, if it came back down to the lower trend line, you'd just do it all over again. Key to success. Now that shows us another stock that's on this week's watch list, FRO. Frontline. You can see the nice little channel that's developed here, and now I put in this new trend line. I'm starting to put in my lower trend line. We got the stochastic just about to cross over. So if we do actually get a breakout here, that's something I'd be paying attention. That's what I'm looking for. That's why we're long right here. And again, I'll probably just go out here and see. I'll make a parallel line here just based on this. And this is doing this right now for the first time. So making this parallel line and seeing how this lines up. Hey, does this line up with any price levels? Then I said, yeah, look at this. It lines right up with this. Goes right back out to a couple of gaps. It looks like a pretty established trend line here. This is definitely an established trend line. So if we do get a breakout here, I would look for a target up towards this level, and I would already planned out exactly where I want to be selling here. So, once it moves up towards this top of the trend line, I know I have probably a decent sell there. So looks good on FRO. And then another stock on the watch list. Here's a great example. This is off the 10 for 1,000 watch list, which gets sent out to members every Sunday. Actually, Saturday I just sent it out here. And these are all the best bets of the week. And I like to throw a few out on YouTube every so often. This is a really nice setup. It's what I call multiple indicator setup. It's a trend. It's a pullback from a positive or a very bullish trending stock. And what happens is a trending stock, they trend up and they pull back. And they continue pull. Here's a good example of the pullback here, and a long move up, and now we're starting to get a pullback. Now this pullback is actually established in a channel, which is great. It's just absolutely fantastic because the stochastics are set up here perfectly for a pullback. And what I like here is buying anywhere down into this lower channel. You could actually hold the 200 period moving average, which I think we will. I started picking up this position on Friday, but a small amount. And that way, if it did pull down to the lower trend line, I would actually add to that position. Looks great setup for a move up and breakout and a move back up above 64. I have a target of 63 on it. So this actually went out to the members for this week coming up. Melly. CIEN. Good stock off of last week's watch list. We had a buy trigger 1405. Just out of this consolidation, we moved right up to $15, which was a target. Took half of it off. Still looks okay. I just wanted to review that. That was just a perfect, again, a stochastic pullback. This is what I call these, like a slanted W pattern. What happens is you get a downtrending line, you get that first pop out of the downtrend and the first retracement from that pop. And then you make that W. So you see this W pattern. So long as the stochastics pull back and the stock level holds off the recent lows, that's your divergence, and that's where you're going to start to take a position. Limits the risk, gives you the best upside potential. As long as you have the discipline to take off your trade, you'll be making money. IP, another great example of a downward wedge pattern. And again, just showing you how to establish that trend line underneath. Stochastics pulled back, we held the midpoint, and we got a breakout. Now, when I bring this up, well, just again, starting to see possibly maybe a pullback here in IP. We pushed up against recent highs, so we have one indicator set up showing us a short here. It's called a support level, a resistance level above us, and then the stochastics are overbought. So we're at a couple indicators are pointing for a move down. I like that the trend line's underneath, way off the trend line. You could easily pull back to the trend line, which is a nice little pullback. So IP. Something to look like. Another watch list pick from this week on this list is Colgate-Palmolive. Again, this broke out of a wedge pattern. I just put in this lower trend line. We're pulling back to the trend line. Stochastics are pulling back. Looks great. Looks like a great entry here. Possible move down to the lower trend line here, down at that 75-20 area. But anywhere between that 75 and 76 area here. Very good risk reward. Probably off the trend line. Very good level. Stochastics should turn back up. That would be the confirmation when you see a cross back up on the stochastics with volume. And then you can see how this pushes up against the 200 period moving average. We're going to look for that to break out of that level on CL. COG, just another example of a channel that you can find in your markets. And when you start to see the divergence here, you got stochastics. We're going to call these oversold stochastics, all right? We're going to call these. Once you get under that 20 line, it really oversold. So a low, oversold stochastics, a low, a lower low. Oversold stochastics, lower lows. So we continue to make lower lows, then all of a sudden oversold stochastics, we made a higher low. And it's a retracement into the channel. So this will give me the example. This is going to give me the signal that we're going to break out of the channel. The divergence, midpoint retracement to the channel. These are indicators that are, that I want to see timing up. This is a great one. Oversold stochastic or oversold stochastics and a pull back to the midpoint of the channel, and then from there, that's your entry point for the greatest amount of move usually in the pattern here. So very nice. How you want to look at channels again. How's everyone liking this video? Don't forget, I do this each day on the radio. So as these things, imagine getting all this information that I'm pumping in here in 10 minutes for you. Imagine getting this for 6 hours a day constantly. So come on by DayTradingRadio.com. You'll hear me on the mic right when you log in, and I'll be talking to you and showing you the setups that live in the market. Live in the market. So again, that nice little channel that brings me back to FRO, which we're on the watch list for this week. In this channel, we're just about ready to break out. So we know already how to plan this channel out, plan this trade out, break out up to here, take it off, trade it back down to here, continue to make money. These are like ATM machines. You just have to have patience and wait for the setups here. NUE, new car, on the watch list. Oh, I'm giving you a couple setups this week. Again, this is also a breakout of a larger wedge pattern. Similar situation. You got a stochastic divergence. We're holding off recent lows. Just a breakout. Now we have a consolidation. Just as strictly showing strength. This is a relative strength move versus the market the last 4 days, which we've been pulling back. And you can see this has been holding its ground. So the market gets a nice bounce. Look for this one to break to the upside. Buy trigger $41. Target $42. Whew. I think that's good enough for you guys. Saturday. Enjoy your rest of your weekend. I'll see you on the radio 8 o'clock Monday morning. For those out there who might be going to Vegas, the meetup, there's a nice Traders Expo at Caesar's Palace on the 17th to the 20th, and I'll be out there hanging out. So if you're in the area, shoot me an email and we'll talk. All right, Day Trader Rockstar signing off.